Hey everybody. So in this video, we're going to cover Manchino. So Manchino is found at the top toolbar within your work views. So we'll select Manchino, and here we are. On the left-hand side, you're looking at all 144 inputs. We can also look at all of the auxes, so all 96 of them, our 24 matrices, and our left, right, and monobus. So we can see all of that. You can see our VCAs, all the pop groups. And then we have some stuff like line check, EQ, compressor, gate, naming, and send. So what is the point of this page? So there's several things. So the first thing we can do is I can go on to solo if I want. And if I just select channel 1, I can choose to set things up. So is it a mono channel? So this is going to be a kick. So we'll keep that mono. EQ compress, but here we can go right to naming. So in this page, we can easily access naming. I can go, this can be kick in. If I hit enter, it takes me right to channel 2. And this is snare top. Snare bottom. I can't type. I'm going to just do just a few more here. Let's do a hi-hat. Top 1. Come on. And actually we'll call this floor. And now we just do overheads, stereo, and overhead stereo. Okay. So just name some channels here. I can actually select, get out of solo and go to multiple select. I can choose all of these, and now I can color them, for example. And let's say that we're already starting to build mixes. So if I'm doing, monitors from front of house, or I just need to, I'm going to do some groups, reverbs, whatever. I can go right to sends, and now that these are all selected, I can go, okay, let's just send all those to aux 1. So this encoder up here now acts as a send level, and now I can see all of them, and we can see the channels up here as well in the top right. But now we just sent that to a bus. So pretty powerful page here. Another thing is I can start building like my VCAs and pop groups. So again, for the sake of a short video, let's go ahead and have VCA 1 be like a drum VCA. So I can just select all the drums here. I can tap here, call this drums, also label it red. If I hadn't already colored it, since I colored it right there, I could have done the transfer color, and that would have colored the channels as well. So now that's done, I can close out of that. So here's a cool thing. If I start building my whole show out, I have guitars, I have a keyboard, there's bass, it's actually 2 guitars, vocals, some tracks, you get it. You can start building out VCAs, and if you need to send them to monitors, it's kind of like having MCAs, monitor control associations, like we had on the Pro Series. A really cool feature, but this kind of just blows it out of the park, because now I can build all these in VCAs, select it. Let's demonstrate that actually. If I deselect everything, select the VCA, highlights the channels, I select which buses it needs to go to, and we just send it to it. So pretty cool. Some other things that is cool is, say, line check. So if I deselect everything, if I click and hold, I can see like all my safes. So right now, if I look at all safes, nothing's saved. If I had a gate saved or something, it would have popped up, and I can hover over that to also check those safes, etc. another really powerful feature. Let's just do another example here, kind of switching gears, but let's just say that I have 8, RF mics I need to do. So I kind of just arbitrarily chose these channels because I can always throw them into a pop group. So it really doesn't matter where I lay it out. I can lay it out wherever I want on the desk surface. But okay, so we have these channels. Let's go to naming. If I tick this box here with auto number, I can actually just go here and just type in like RF, hit enter, and now it just names it RF 1 through 8. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead, make them yellow. If I need to send them somewhere, do the same thing. They're highlighted. You get it. If I deselect all of these. So another thing is, say looking at a channel again, line check. Actually, deselect everything under line check. On the right hand side, I can see if I press and hold for 48 volts, I can see if any channels have 48 on it. If I do select a channel, I can engage 48 volts, just like a normal channel. So I'll deselect that. But it's great for just inspection. Same with polarity, direct outs. So when it's all red, that shows that all of the direct outs are muted, and that's because they're not patched. You can only unmute a direct out if it is unpatched. High pass filters. High pass filters are turned on. So by default, the HD does have high pass turned on at the super low frequency, and that just helps things clean up a bit. No low pass. Everything by default of the inputs go to the stereo bus. And here's a fader level. If I needed to just send certain faders to Unity, I could just grab these, say, RF mics, and press and hold, and now they're all at Unity gain. So I can do something like that too. Let us see. But in a nutshell, that's kind of it. For selecting auxes, if I go to, let's say, the first 8 outputs here, I'm going to do 4 stereo IM mixes. So we can change the pan to mirror, choose stereo there. So now those were switched to stereo. I can EQ, do all the other things. I can name. I can send them to matrices if I needed to. If I needed to make these flexis, then we could send to all the other auxes. So I can choose the tap points. It's actually one thing that I should have mentioned earlier that's really important is if I select every single input here, I can then go and, okay, so for these buses that we just made as like stereo IM, by default, end of chain, which is post fader. So I actually want that to be maybe post dynamics. So I can just change that tap point right there globally. So any channel that's going to feed those buses are now going via post dynamics. If I'm going to do some others for, a couple wedges, maybe I just want the EQ. I don't want any kind of compression or anything like that. So I can just do post EQ on those. And so on. So just a hugely flexible page that saves a lot of time for the initial setup. And to contrast, let's say I go to home. I'm in multi-view right now. I'm looking at my kick. I can go to sends here, and here are all of the auxes. So I can still accomplish the same thing. I can take this kick, send it to this aux, turn it up. Another thing that is handy is you can just go ahead and start sending level, and that will automatically turn the aux on. So, the days of Pro Series didn't work that way. You actually had to turn the aux on, or signal wouldn't work. So now we changed that. But so you can do that here. But I think in Manchino you can just do things the same thing, but you can just do it on a more larger scale. And I think that kind of sums it about up. Let's see. If I'm sending this to, oops, and send them to all. Yeah, anyway. Thanks, everybody.